Once upon a time, football was a game for the poor, but not anymore. In our contemporary society, the game has changed. These days, as a young footballer, if you don't have a big bag of money or you don't have a football godfather, it is very slim for you to make it to the top. My name is Afodile David Chubuzo, and you all are welcome to another exciting edition of the Refined Football Podcast Show. I'm not alone in the studio today. I have my co-host with me, Mickey Mandela. And in the studio today, we have two special guests. We have a coach and a former player. Coach Robert, a former player of Cora United and Jasper United, and FC Targovic of Romania. Coach, you're welcome, sir.
Thank you.
And our second special guest today is also a former player and a present coach. A former player of FCMS Grammar School, Nitel FC, Raka Rovers of Kano, BBL Hanks of Makurdi. He has also coached the Unilag football team. He's also a former coach of Union Bank FC, Etsalat FC, Nimasa FC, and Chevron FC. His name is Coach Oji. Coach, you're welcome, sir.
The pleasure of being here is mine.
Coach, we would like to hear your thoughts concerning this topic. Once upon a time, football used to be a game for the poor, but not anymore. The rich seems to have hijacked this game, thereby making it difficult for young talented kids to make it to the top. If you do not have that connection, that big bag of money, making it to the top is very, very slim. So, Coach, would like to hear your thoughts.
Well, I want to, first of all, agree with you that football has gone money, just like a lot of things have also changed. I am a product of the poor, and I played football when, in fact, football was for the never-do-wells, at least so thought a lot of people. But I also want people to know that time changes things. And football has gone a little scientific. Football has also undergone a lot of changes. It used to be individual thing, just have your skill and play. Kind of one for JJ Okocha, Sunday Ulisse, Amonike. These were naturally talented people from the streets, and they could get there. But I can as well tell you, they went through the school ranks. So the unfortunate thing for the poor these days is that perhaps because of poverty, they are not quite able to combine school and ball. So they want to play it in the street. And in the street, it is very, very difficult for you to really do anything in the street and get by. And then the few people who are also coming to the game because of money, these are the people who call money bags. When they come, what they do is they come to where those poor people are and look for those who can afford certain amount of money and then take them away. But the truly poor ones who actually are blessed with a lot of talent may not have their way. I am not in total blame of them because they are in business.
Yes,
they are in business. And so I think football has gone a little notch ahead of what it used to be. So these poor people now should also manage as much as possible to be ready to learn. I know a lot of guys. I know a man now who has as much as 9 million naira. He told me that if I can get an academy for his son abroad, I say your child can't go to any academy now. He hasn't done anything. So I am also praying that the poor would realize that things have changed and need some bit of learning to match people with money now, because everybody wants his child to play.
Coach, what you're trying to drive out is that where football is being played now based on big bag. If you don't have a godfather, if you don't go to academy, you cannot play football. I could remember back in the days, football is not about you having big bag, you going to academy, because I believe some good footballers years back, they are all street footballers. Not that they call them because they want to sponsor them with big money, but because what they can do. They don't have a good family background, like Samuel Balaji Beba and Celestine Babayaro, all these Nigerian legends we used to know back in the days. They were not having a good background, and they play football, and they play good football then. So I don't really like what football is turning into these days, because if you should look at this game right now, it don't used to be what it used to be then, because everybody wants to play football now, all because of the money.
Like what Coach rightly said, in everything there is
process.
Involvement. Things are changing. During that time, they are not seeing football as a business.
It was more about passion.
It's more about passion. We play it, then let's go and do what we play. But now it has turned to real business, and the businessman wants to put his money where he knows that will make more money.
Yeah.
So that is what is happening now. And they have seen that the poor, for them to get it right, they have to still use the poor, as Coach Oja rightly said. That's what I'm saying. So this is a business thing now, not a passion thing.
Football is an environment. Insurance is another environment. Banking is one. Now, football is a bigger environment, even than oil, than the oil environment. Are you getting it?
Yeah.
Why won't everybody want to go there? But then if you are going for an interview in Chevron, many years ago, if you are poor, as long as you made good grade in school, they will take you straight into Chevron. Yes. But now, if you ain't got a money bag, someone who knows how to get you there,
that is what we are saying.
So we don't have to cry.
I think I kind of agree with Coach Oji and Coach Robert. I'm trying to pick from their points.
Well,
sorry, let me drop this point. Football is a game, yes. It's also a business venture. You must have the talent, one. And if you are fortunate enough to have the connection, fine. Now, the reason rich men are putting their kids into this game, I think it's just because of one reason. Most of these rich homes, their kids are not as talented as these kids from the streets.
If you look at it very well again, you see that football is not more like how it used to be. Like
it cannot stay there.
It cannot
be started.
Yes, I said
there must be
once upon a time it was a game for the poor. Simply because the rich homes, they didn't see footballers as anything. They saw us as street urchins, never do wins, the gallivanting types. Just go around, play and disturb and destroy our properties with the ball. But at some point, football moved from what it used to be to start giving people money. When you see your close friend move from the streets down to Europe in a matter of 3-6 months, 1 year, he's already having estates. And this is another avenue for rich people to put their money, secure and keep their generational wealth. It's just the truth. So I kind of understand. Education too plays a role. Coming from the streets, not having that family that can give you that financial security is a big disadvantage. It's a very big disadvantage.
Coach, one thing I want to say is this, and the poor will always have a place to play this soccer, because it is only the poor that play this football with all their interest, with all their mind, because they know where they are coming from. And they want to set a standard, they want to go higher because they check where they are coming from. They see there's a whole lot of work to do. So when you see a child that the father or the guardians want to carry along in this game, you see that his playing pattern, his zeal in the game,
very good point.
It's always different from those
I like
from the poor.
I like this point you just raised now.
Like what you said now, it is really good. Do you understand what I'm saying? There is every tendency that you must get somebody behind you. The way things are now, you must get somebody behind you. That is what Coach said earlier.
It must be
now the rich people now have seen that the people that will be behind these poor people are people like them.
Yeah.
That is why you see them do what?
Coming. Yeah. So to them it's business.
Pure business.
Yeah. So Coach, I wanted to say something.
I actually wanted to help Michael. Michael, you are very much on. But one thing you have not done is to come out of the old. I'm older than you, and I have slowly shifted away from what it used to be. I want you to begin to shift. Things are slowly beginning to change. I played football when it was 2-2 everywhere, but I am the first person to bring theoretical football into the University of Lagos to let people know that it could happen this way, happen that way, and all of that. What I'm saying is things have changed. It used to be that if you were talented and you are on the street, you could be seen there and taken from there. But right now, no matter how talented you are, talent will die with you if you ain't got money.
You made the point. You said most of the great players we know or we've heard about came from poor and family background.
Exactly.
And I want to say the difference between a talent coming from a poor background and that kid coming from a rich one that wants to play football is between passion and zeal. A child coming from a poor background knows he has nothing. He has a lot to fight for and win. So the passion and zeal is different. A child coming from a rich home has the financial backings and the connections. He doesn't really have that passion to play the game. It's just, my dad wants me to go and play, and for the name, secure our name too. Just like a father wanting the child to further his education. You must go to school, you must go to school. My son from my own family cannot be an illiterate. It's just like that.
If I should start as Nigeria team, you see all these kind of, who do you know, who do you have, how much do you have, where have you gone to, where have you played ball to, all those stuffs, it kills Nigeria team. I went for that 23. They say, who sent you, who brought you. You know that I can do this thing. I can play this round object very well, and I'm good in the field. They start asking me, who bring you, how much do you have? If you want us to, put you on the lineup just for a friendly match to South Africa. Not that they want to put me in the main list.
Okay.
I will pay like ₦1 million. Then 2014, I remember. You see, it's affecting Nigeria football system. We need to go back to where and how it used to be. If the new system is not doing us good, let's go back. Use the ones like national duty is coming up now. You will see a whole lot of boys who can, they will kind of, this guy he played in AC Milan, this one played in no. There is some good players who have in Kano Pillars. There are some good players who have in Rangers United. There are some good players who have in Kuala United. Or at least use these boys. Let's see what they can give us, like how it used to be before. But now it's not like that, because football have turned to, you have money, you drive a luxury car, you know Godfather. So it's killing the game. As a Nigerian system, it's killing the game. It's not like what you guys are saying. I don't totally dispute that.
Nice point raised. Coach, do you have anything to say about what he just said?
Well, I continue to say to him that he is making valid points. He has been able to air his anger over this. But let me tell you, if you come to under 23 and they say to you, as far back as 1985, I was called into the Lagos mainland team. It was about Lagos Festival, before the National Festival. Fortunately, I had a letter. And when my original zone came, I said, what are you doing? I said, I have a letter. They gave me a letter. Now, what I'm trying to say to you is, if you went to the under 23 or under 17 because you can play football, it's not enough. The only player who did so and did well for Nigeria was Okoroji. Okoroji was never invited to the Nigerian national team. He just went there because he had Peter Saidida, like the goalkeeper there, as his friend. So he came if Ida introduced him. So all of this, if you can't bump into any company, you can't bump into UBA and say, yeah, I sabi banking work, take me. You must come through a certain good channel. So the same thing in football, my brother. Yeah. I understand. We all went through it.
But coach, let me just ask this question. Like in the 80s, I know Nigeria has good footballers. Let Rashidi Yekini, Mudassir Lawal, Felix Owolabi, If it were to be now, do you believe that such talents, we get opportunity to play in the national team?
Do I have that question?
Huh?
Yes, you have.
Maybe as they didn't have money then.
Yeah. I'm just.
Yeah. Time. I'm a believer of time. Time has passed. That time, only very few people go to the field. Not now, every young man now is a footballer. So only very few people who are truly talented go to the field that time. You cannot go to Fiat in Kaduna. No. Rashidi was a truck repairer in Fiat. So you cannot go to Fiat Trading without seeing him. Then he played for UNTL. So it was too clear that this is the man to play. Shefiu Mohammed played for the national team. He was in Polytechnic. Felix Owolabi was also in Polytechnic. So if you go to watch this game, those were the games to be seen, then you could see it. Segun Odegbami was also in Ibadan Poly. So it is also clear. Christian Chukwu captained a secondary school in Onitsha also.
He's my
you understand? So it's not that everybody just play. Emmanuel Okala, all these people were picked in schools. Thompson Hussein, the very best striker Nigeria ever had, except that he left for US early. He died some time ago. He also was picked. Best Ogenegbe, the day he was picked, secondary school game, Ogenegbe was against him. He scored 7 goals, 2 offside, and 5 goals that counted. He was called to the national team. Ogenegbe was called to the national team. He was playing from Midwest. Ogenegbe played for Western Nigeria. You know, so it was not that if we come to Yanejibum, too many players, you don't even know who to take from. Go to everywhere. No, players were single in schools.
From what you just said, I think my little understanding is it is one thing to have the talent, it's another thing to be educated enough to find the right channel to be.
And
so
again, and one of the underlying point there is that there were limited talents. So when you see one,
So
you can identify
talent then.
Yes.
So coach,
Which means now there are much of talents.
There's so much of talent.
That it will be difficult for you to
Coaches
select.
now have problem to find those who are truly talented now.
Because
every young man wants to go to the top place.
Yes.
okay, valid point.
Because of the money.
Valid point. So coach, lastly, what's your final advice to footballers that are going through this challenge? Because I have friends that will tell you I know they go anywhere. They don't go, they don't tell me this, they don't do this, they don't do that. They've had different experiences. And this is kind of weighing them down. Your final word of encouragement.
My
to them.
final word here would be learning. There are things you learn. You know I'm a coach. There are different, so many coaches. But I want you to do one thing. I want you to invite me to come talk technicality. If I come to talk about passing, I could talk passing for an hour without touching any other area of the game. Let me just talk to your boys. If I'm going to talk about positioning, if I'm going to talk about defensive principles, I want to talk about midfield principles, attacking principles, and all of that. So people don't learn. When you learn clearly, everywhere you play, you will stand out. And then you allow luck play the remaining. But we don't do anything. As long as we have energy to run around and kick the shot hard, we think nobody tells us anything. I know a lot of guys there on Wednesdays and Fridays on our field there. These are marvelous talents. What talent can never do it for you? You must have game sense. You must have understanding of all the technicalities and practicalities.
So coach, thank you. Coach, your final word.
Yeah, my final word on this issue is this. Like Coach rightly said, when you get the technicalities of the game, which means you can easily stand up. Many people are just following the crowd because there is money in football. So I'll just advise that the younger ones should go back into the drawing board, know the technicalities that will do what that will lead them out.
Coach, thank you. Yes, once upon a time, football was a game for the poor, but not anymore. But one thing you need to understand that football is a business venture, and no matter what it is for everybody. So this is a clarion call to the rich men, the rich women out there. If you know any talented kid and you know he or she is struggling to make it to the top, in whatever way you know you can give him or her that help, just do it. Unfortunately, this is where we'll be drawing the curtain on today's edition of the Fine Football Podcast Show. Please do well to follow us on all our social media pages, on Facebook, on Twitter, on TikTok, on Snapchat. And until we meet again, bye for now.